we've used CropBioLife in key stressful points in crop development. Literally as we sit in here, it's 106 degrees outside. Mm-hmm. That's pretty hard on plants, especially C3 photosystems here in the Pacific Northwest. We've used CropBioLife to address plant stress, specifically heat stress. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because the more we look at plant output, so much of the time it's dependent on stress, how the plant handles stress.
Sure.
So what do you guys see with stress reduction or in that vein?
It's only an observation at this point. We haven't got the science. So funnily enough, is just last week we got knocked back on a grant. We applied for a grant to further study drought resistance and drought tolerance in plants and based on soil management, and I think that's part of it. So I think what I find with the results we've seen, and again, a lot of that was with grapes because we've done so much with grapes, but we've seen a lot of vines, and we've seen trees do it too, where they've survived and through a heat stress event without their leaves folding over and without wilting. And just in Modesto here in the States, we did a trial and with peaches, and the peaches stayed firm through a very long. I think it was 7 days of plus 100 degrees, and we were told that that was just impossible for those to have stayed firm through that type of temperature. But I think it's a holistic thing with the plant. So it's not just the plant doing that; it's a plant-soil relationship. So for the plant to tolerate a heat condition or even a long-term drought or anything like that, it's about the health of the soil under the plant and the way that plant's interacting with it. So the part that we play in that, I think, is that, as we're talking about that extra exudation capability, and the signaling, flavonoids are part of the signaling in the soil as well. And so being able to attract the soil biology to work with the plant, adding more carbon in the soil, there's the data's there that shows the more carbon you can have in the soil, the more water holding capability it has. To answer your question, I think that the heat stress and the stress event stuff is getting that plant efficiency going, that health of the plant, the health of the soil working together, and that makes it resilient to those sorts of events. And those climate events are getting more and more, and I think that's part of it. We see even wind, storms and stuff like that, heavy hail storms and things damaging plants, and the recovery is spectacular compared to plants that aren't treated and that don't have healthy soil below them.